Nuclear energy. Today we're taking a look at ticker NUKZ. Is this growth ETF going to make me tons of money, or is nuclear energy slowing down? I want to showcase this is a viewer suggested ETF. You guys put it in the comments on my last video, which I really appreciate. And I thought I would look at it because I've seen the ticker all over the place, but no one really seems to talk about this one as much. So it's Range Nuclear Renaissance Index ETF. We're going to cover why I think nuclear energy will be big over the next couple of decades even, and what I think about nukes and its holdings. So I hope you guys are excited. I am very pumped to get into this video. As always, if you're interested in ETFs, in growth, in making money in the stock market, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the free content. Let's roll that intro. The returns really do speak for themselves. I mean, it's up 74% in the last year, a very amazing performance from NUKZ. Now, I am also interested, I'm going to be doing more content on these kind of single sector ETFs, whether it be semiconductors, crypto, AI. I want to do more content on those because I feel like they don't get a lot of love because it is a little bit of a slower growth, even when they are booming. And they're a little bit higher risk, I guess you could say, in comparison to some of the larger funds like the S&P and the NASDAQ. But my fiance, we're getting married in couple weeks now. Oof, it's coming soon. That's why there's flowers in the background. That's not my normal way of setting up my studio, but we're going to be investing for her in her Roth IRA. And so I'm going to be throwing in a couple of these, probably at least, maybe NUKZ, maybe throw nukes in there, and then some semiconductor ETFs, maybe some crypto stuff as well. But I'm going to get her a little bit more interested in the investing game. She's not super into it, but I want to have her set up for her retirement as well. So we're really excited to get going on that. But I want to know more from you guys. What are your favorite sector-based ETFs, or just ETFs in general? Growth stocks as well. Let me know what you guys think. I'm hoping to give her a set it and forget it style of portfolio where you don't have to check. It doesn't have to be even dividend focused, can be strictly growth or dividend focused if the performance is there. But I want it to be a buy and forget because she probably won't check it very often. So let me know in the comments. This video, again, comes from a commenter. So thank you guys. I read your comments. I look up the tickers. It's really fun to nerd out and see all these different ETFs, especially since I'm only one person. And you guys have so many ETFs that you're tracking. And so being able to share our knowledge and our experiences with these ETFs is absolutely amazing. When we zoom out with nukes, I also want to showcase this thing is not old. Started trading in January of 2024, and since then is up 165%. There's a lot of different aspects with energy, so there is one big question that I'm hoping to answer with this video, and I'm going to showcase my opinion on it as well, is do we need nuclear? Do we need it? We have a lot of other options. There's solar, we have hydroelectric, we have those giant wind turbines that seem to be going up everywhere, but is nuclear the simplest? Is it the safest? Probably not, but I want to showcase something that I found that I've been reading up on with nuclear energy to show why I am a big fan and why I think in the long run it will do well. But first, we're going to cover the breakdown on NUKZ, how much it costs to hold this fund, because expense ratio is important. Our hard-earned dollars should be working for us, and the holdings. So a lot of good information to come. Let's jump into it. The fund summary for their page, I mean, it's solid. It just doesn't have a lot on it. It's very beautiful, but very minimalistic, which I actually like. I'm more of a minimalist myself. So the goal of this fund is it wants to provide exposure to companies that are involved in the following segments: advanced reactor, utilities, construction and services, and fuel. And I went to the fact sheet, but it's a little bit outdated just because their current holdings are a little bit different. And they even have an ebook. Very interesting. I have never seen this from an ETF issuer, but it's not a bad idea. So let's talk about it. 44 holdings. I'm going to showcase in the next segment on this video. We're going to talk about the biggest holdings they have and how their performance has been for those. But this is a very expensive growth ETF. I have not seen an expense ratio on a growth ETF at 0.85%. I don't think ever before, to be honest. Now, I've seen it a lot on the income side because it costs money and time and effort to write options and whatnot. They're just buying and holding. So I'm curious as to why that ratio is so high. But if it's making a solid return, I always say if the performance is good, the expense ratio is significantly less important. And I'd happily pay out nearly 1% if I'm getting 74% on the year. Let's just make that very, very clear. People give the expense ratio a hard time, but if the fund does well, you're going to have to pay more for it. And that's just the thing. So we can see the NAV, the market price, it has just been booming recently. And then we get to their holdings. So let's talk about it. They even have distributions. I did not even know that. They do have distributions, very small. This one was 0.09 cents. This one was almost 3 cents, and this one was almost 4 cents. But that's not going to be a factor. That was, of course, looks like it's paying out quarterly, but it paid out 3 in December. They often do this where they don't pay out distributions like on an annual basis or a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. They just do it when they have to based off of tax benefits for depending on how much money they've made and whatnot. So we have CEG, which is Constellation Energy. We have Cameco Corp. We have OKLO Corp, OKLO Incorporated. Lockheed Martin, which is an interesting one. We have Rolls-Royce Holdings, Honeywell International, GE Vernova, Silex Systems, Quanta Services, and Curtiss-Wright Corp. All those tickers are to the right of there if you guys want to do some research on those yourself. Now, the only one I'm interested in is Rolls-Royce. Why that one would be in here, I guess fuel-based, but I don't know. Kind of interesting. That one, we're going to do a full comparison showcasing the performance of all of these not ETFs, all of these stocks in one moment here. But some big names. First of all, Lockheed Martin, man, has it been doing well because of everything going on. Unfortunately, Lockheed Martin does really well when our world is in a lot of conflict, and we seem to be in conflict nonstop, so the stock has done well. And then we have a bunch of other energy and similar names. Now, one thing I will say, I'm not an expert on the nuclear sector. I'm not an expert on the energy sector. So are these all going to be good, solid companies? I don't know. I'm going to be up front with you guys. I don't know. But what I am doing is I'm trusting nukes. I'm trusting their strategists, the people that are deciding what is going to go into this fund to know that information so I don't have to. And that's what I pay the fee for. It's also, it pays for their research, the time it takes to select these companies. And I mean, if you're getting a good return, they must be doing something correct. So I'm going to throw all these into a calculator, a comparison tool by Seeking Alpha, and let's see the best performers and the worst performers when it comes to NUKZ's ETF holdings. Before we jump into those names, I do want to showcase why I think energy is going to be big over the next couple of decades. And from IEA.org, we're looking at this article from July 30 of 2025, where it's talking about renewables, natural gas, nuclear are set to meet additional demand as the world's use of electricity rises for industry, appliances, air conditioning, data centers, EVs, and more. And if you don't know, energy is crazy in demand right now. We are seeing it grow to a point where I'm not sure if we can even maintain it. And I say that for a number of reasons, from electric vehicles to these data centers that pull enough energy. There's a data center going up in Wisconsin or something like that. My brother was talking to me about it, and he said that it's going to use more energy than the rest of the town it's in every single day. So it's literally taking more energy. Maybe it was even the state. It's so much energy for these data centers for AI that they have to find ways to create more energy. And so it also states in this article that demand is set to rise for electricity by 3.3% in 2025 and by 3.7% in 2026. Down here, it also states that it's expected to overtake coal as the world's largest source, or renewables are expected to overtake coal as the world's largest source of electricity as early as 2025 or 2026, depending on weather, fuel price trends, and such. Now, they also showcase in here the latest forecast for global electricity demand growth this year and next are a deceleration from the 4.4% surge we saw in 2024. So we did see a nice boom, but they're going to remain above the 2015 to 2023 average of 2.6%. So it's not another huge year is what they're anticipating. It's come down a little bit, but that being said, it's still above the average. And that's why I think renewables, particularly nuclear, are going to continue to do super, super well. And I'll explain a little bit more of that when we get into our next portion, but let's take a look at those underlying companies. I just can't help but think with AI, with these data centers, with everything that's going in with EVs, that energy is going to be a consistent need for who knows how long. So I do think that nukes in the long run will do well. The question is do I think it'll do well enough to have it in my portfolio? So we can see the underlying holdings, they all range in the billion-dollar area, with the lowest being SILXY, the Silex Systems Limited at 1.3 billion, but still pretty large. So when we go down here, we're looking at price return. And we see on the 1 year, some of them have done relatively well, and some have done unbelievably well. The main one being OKLO, or OKLO, which is only an $18 billion company. This thing has outperformed everything else. Some of them are still up big. CW up 60%, We can see PWR still, I mean, if we took OKLO out, it would actually make it, I might have to do that because it's going to make it look a lot more, a much prettier chart. But I do want to showcase just this one has boomed, which has been a big reason for this company, for this ETF, I should say, to perform so well. So when we remove that one, our next best is GEV up 133%. And then we go all the way into the negatives with LMT being down 17%. But we can see overall, they're kind of ranging some 3%, one negative 17%, up into the 30s, 40s, 50s. And then we also have OKLO at 1,200, 1,300, 1,400%. That definitely floored this ETF forward. We also can say we've seen a little bit of a pullback with some of these recently, and some have been just coming back up a little bit, like LMT was even down in the negative 30% range. Now, there is an important thing to note. Some of these have been purchased at different points in the portfolio, so they haven't been held the entire time. Check that out on the website if you're interested in doing a deep dive. But all in all, I like the diversification of this ETF. I think nuclear is going to do really well. I think between semiconductors, between data centers, between AI, the energy we are going to use, I think it's going to continue to be significantly above what's expected as they continue to build these data centers and whatnot. And even things like data storage. There's so much energy that goes into things like that, well above even with just the average EVs and things of those sorts. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know again your favorite sector-based or growth-based stocks and ETFs in the comments. Maybe I'll do a video about them if they do catch my attention. And thank you guys so much for all of the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to grow your portfolio. And if you enjoyed this video, you're going to enjoy these, including some hidden ETFs that are winning big in 2025. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to spread some love today.